Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 clip U.S.S. Enterprise configures escape plan as the deck is under attack. A new glimpse at Star Trek Strange New Worlds has come out of New York Comic-Con. The Paramount Plus show is a prequel to the original series, following the exploits of Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, and the crew of the U.S.S. Enterprise, which includes younger versions of iconic characters Spock, Ethan Peck, and Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, which is set to premiere in 2025, will not be the last, as the live-action show has already been renewed for Season 4 as well. At New York Comic-Con, Paramount Plus shared a new clip from an upcoming episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. The 3-minute clip opens in the middle of a high-octane space battle where Pike consults his team as to the best course of action. In addition to jamming the comms of the attacking fleet, they plan to disguise a tracking beacon in a dud torpedo so they can safely rescue their shipmates, who are still prisoners of the Gorn. They then plan a risky ramming maneuver that will take out their shields, putting them at even greater risk if they fail. See the full clip below. At the event, it was also announced that Our Flag Means Death star Rhys Darby will be appearing in the new season as a guest star. Paramount Plus also unveiled a gallery of first-look images from the scene depicted in the clip, showcasing Pike, Spock, and Rebecca Romijn's Una Chin Riley during their tense moment on the bridge of the Enterprise. See the images below. While this clip does not reveal too much about the larger adventure it is a part of, it does reveal that the show will continue directly from the Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 ending. That cliffhanger saw the majority of the Enterprise's landing party kidnapped by the Gorn, which is clearly still a source of major concern for the remaining crew of the ship. This intense scene being a direct continuation of that storyline makes sense, though it remains to be seen if the landing party's rescue will take place in Season 3 Episode 1 or be extended into further episodes. Should that be the case, it may reveal that the show is embracing more serialized storytelling rather than the episodic format it has largely utilized thus far, mimicking the narrative structure of the original series, which it directly precedes on the Star Trek timeline. Our take on this Star Trek Strange New Worlds update, in addition to this intense introduction to the season, the announcement that Rhys Darby is joining the Star Trek Strange New Worlds cast is an exciting one. The actor who played the lead character Stede Bonnet in HBO's Our Flag Means Death from 2022 through 2023 has ample experience in the science fiction genre, including voicing Koran in Voltron, Legendary Defender, and playing supporting roles in The X-Files and Sweet Tooth. With his background, he should be able to breathe life into whatever new role he is asked to play. The bridge of the U.S.S. Enterprise is a symphony of blinking lights and urgent beeps as the ship trembles under the weight of enemy fire. Captain Christopher Pike stands firm in the center, eyes sharp and focused, the calm amidst the storm. His crew works with practiced precision, their hands gliding over consoles as they monitor the ship's systems. "Shields down to 30%, Captain," shouts Lieutenant Erica Ortegas from the helm, her voice strained but steady. Her fingers race across the controls, deftly maneuvering the ship to dodge another blast from the attacking fleet. "How many are out there?" Pike asks, his tone clipped but calm. "3 heavy cruisers, Klingon design," replies Lieutenant Spock from his station, his face as serene as ever. "Their firepower is considerable. Our hull integrity will not withstand prolonged bombardment at this rate." Pike clenches his jaw, his mind working furiously. "We need a way out." Number 1, status on the warp drive? Commander Una Chin Riley, standing beside him, shakes her head grimly. "Still offline. Engineering's doing everything they can, but we're not going to warp anytime soon." Another hit rocks the ship, sending sparks flying from an overloaded console. Crew members scramble to extinguish the small fires, but the tension is palpable. The Klingon ships have the Enterprise boxed in, and the situation is deteriorating fast. "We need to make a break for it, Captain," says Lian Noonien Singh from Tactical. "We can't take much more of this." Pike takes a deep breath, thinking through their options. With warp drive offline and the ship's shields barely holding, any escape would require split-second timing and a bit of luck. But they're the Enterprise. They've faced worse odds before. "Mr. Spock," Pike says, turning to his science officer, What are our options? Spock raises an eyebrow, clearly aware that the possibilities are slim. We could attempt a micro-warp jump using auxiliary power, but the risks are high. If the calculations are off, we could end up inside a planet, or worse, the ship could be torn apart. Pike frowns, considering. He glances at Una, who is already 2 steps ahead. Captain, she says, if we can overload the forward phaser array, we might be able to create a short-lived shockwave that could knock the Klingon ships off balance. It won't destroy them, but it could buy us enough time to escape to a safer distance. Pike nods slowly, his mind working through the details. And we combine that with Spock's micro-warp jump. It's risky, but if it works, we'd be out of the line of fire before they can recover, Spock finishes. Exactly. Another barrage of enemy fire slams into the Enterprise, sending more sparks flying. Time is running out. All right, Pike says, his decision made. We're doing it. Number 1, get engineering to reroute power to the forward phasers. Mr. Spock, start calculating the micro-warp jump coordinates. We'll need a precise vector. Ortegas, prepare for evasive maneuvers on my mark. Aye, Captain. The crew responds in unison, their movements quick and efficient. Cut to engineering deck down in engineering. The situation is just as dire. Ensigns and officers hustle to repair systems as sparks fly from damaged consoles. The hum of the warp core is barely audible beneath the chaos. Chief Engineer Pelia is barking orders, her voice carrying over the din. Reroute power to the phasers. We need that overload ready in 60 seconds. Sweat drips down the faces of her team as they work furiously. The strain is evident, but there's no room for hesitation. They know the lives of everyone on board depend on their efforts. Cut to main bridge, power rerouted, Captain. Una confirms, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. Spock? Pike turns toward the science officer. Spock's hands move quickly across his console. Coordinates for the micro-warp jump are locked in, Captain. The window of opportunity will be small, but theoretically possible. Pike's lips twitch in a slight smile. Theoretically possible is what we do best. Ortegas shoots him a quick grin, her hands poised over the helm controls. Ready when you are, Captain. Pike straightens, taking a deep breath. All right, people. This is going to be tight. On my mark, we fire the phasers, create that shockwave, and make the jump. Hold on to something. The tension on the bridge is electric as everyone braces for what's to come. The lights flicker and the ship shakes as another barrage of fire hits, but Pike remains calm. Fire, Pike orders. The forward phasers unleash a blinding torrent of energy, the overload sending a shockwave rippling through space. The Klingon ships stagger as their sensors momentarily overload, their weapons going silent. Now Ortegas, Pike shouts. Ortegas slams the controls, and the Enterprise leaps forward, the stars blurring around them as they jump to warp, just as another volley of Klingon fire passes harmlessly through the space they once occupied. The jump is short but successful, and within seconds, the ship emerges from warp at a safer distance, far from the Klingon cruisers. Status? Pike asks, his voice tense. Shields are stabilizing, Land reports. No sign of pursuit. The crew lets out a collective breath of relief. Pike sinks into his chair, allowing himself a brief moment of respite. Well done, everyone, he says, his voice warm with gratitude. We're not out of the woods yet, but that was a hell of a maneuver. Ortegas flashes a grin. Just another day on the Enterprise, Captain. Pike smiles, but his eyes are already scanning the view screen, thinking of their next move.